In case you missed it, Bungie had a recent livestream of their new and upcoming game, Marathon. This is a series that's not new, but the game they're making is. This means that the game is getting a modern-day facelift, much like many of the other shooters of the 90s. However, this game is what a lot of longtime fans have been asking for, but it's built for a different generation to unlock its secrets. For context, a lot of my friends like to dub the game as a boomer shooter, or, for my classification purposes, arena shooter. This means the game is in the same vein as early shooters like Doom, Wolfenstein, and Quake. As a longtime Bungie fan, I've been keeping up with the game's development for the past couple years, so I came into the livestream knowing that the game was going to be drastically different from its roots. My expectations and my opinions are my own. I just wanted to address the concerns from my peers who aren't into what the game has to offer gameplay-wise as an extraction shooter. I intend for this video to be as a way to know what we'll be getting into for when the game drops on September 23rd of this year. So without further ado, Marathon. In this iteration, Marathon is an extraction shooter set in the far future of the 28 to 2900s, long after we had colonized and settled among the stars, and long after the original game's story. So join us as we dive into the world of Tau Ceti 4, which was struck with calamity as we saw in the trailer, and is now the prime looting ground for the corporations who have come to reap the rewards and unlock the mysteries within. In this game, you're playing as a runner, a cyborg mercenary hired to go down planetside on behalf of the corporations to run contracts, whether that's collecting materials, taking out UESC forces, or even other runners. The premise is simple. Go in alone, or with a team of 3, grab whatever's not nailed down, and get out before the timer does and the planet takes you. The more runs you do, the more loot you'll find. The more you find, the stronger you get. The stronger you get, the deeper you can go and uncover the mysteries or last longer in a firefight. The challenging thing about extraction shooters is, you're not the only team going in. In this game, a total of 18 players will be dropped into the arena, including you and your squad. So while you're out there looting, not only will you have to watch your back against the AI, you'll have to watch out for the most dangerous game of them all. Another squad doing the same thing as you. Unlike a battle royale, where you have to be the last team standing, you can get out without even fighting another player, or even before the timer runs out. For those that don't know what the extraction shooter experience is like, Call of Duty's DMZ mode and Escape from Tarkov are the current peers to this genre of gameplay, where they both follow the same rule and loop of get in, get shit done, and get out. If I'm going to throw out some more gameplay terms out there, the game is basically a PvEvP roguelike, which I'm all for. As with hundreds of hours of my footage is, I love doing PvP and endgame co-op experiences, and for this, it'll be a great way to blend the two concepts together. In my many years of gaming, I've come from the school of get good or get wrecked, and I keep playing till I either get a win or it's time to go to sleep, and this applies to both PvE and PvP. So how does this game relate to me, personally? As a PvPer, I love getting in to go head-to-head and outplay another team, or even just like another player too. I love dueling in PvP. Like, if I lose, well, that's on me. If I win, well, that's on me. And this time, since we're looting a lot, that means there's goodies at stake. So that could either be lore books, or materials, or things like that, upgrades, even extra ammo. I am such an ammo-conscious hoarder when it comes to a battle royale, so this is going to be fun for me in that aspect. As a PvE player, though, I love getting lost and just roaming the world that I'm thrown into, exploring lost civilizations, and making some kind of impact in the grand scheme of everything. As a co-op player, I just love to have those, cover me, I'm hacking the door, or contact enemies on my mark, and the, hey, you need this? Hey, how about this one? Did you grab this yet? Did you see this yet? I love to be able to call out to my team and just let them know, like, hey, what's going on? Some days I'll get those games where I am the shit, and other times there's going to be moments where I just get shit on. But that's the fun part about the PvP experience for me, is that, especially with a game like this, you're only as good as your last run. You're only as good as your last match, which is one of the key things about PvP that really sticks with me really well. That sometimes you just get outskilled, sometimes you just get outplayed, sometimes you just get stuck in a bad play. And all these different things are just aspects that I'm really excited to like delve into and really start to strut my stuff in a new game. So what about the environment? From what we're seeing so far, it's been just the marsh level. There'll be 3 zones available on release and more unlocked afterwards. Stylistically, I love wild out there sci-fi universes. To me, the color palettes pop so nicely with the neon contrast for the buildings and the environments. At first, seeing the design change from the original Marathon art was a bit jarring for me, because it did feel like a huge tonal shift from what Bungie had developed back in the 90s. For marketing purposes, I understand why they went this way, and eventually it did grow on me. Something I gotta say about the cinematic trailer that really stuck with me is when they revealed that how our runners are cyborgs. In that cutscene, it shows how they're created. It's just that right level of sci-fi that borders anime in the level of retro art. What do I mean by this? What do I mean with that spew of words? Is that the game is set in an experimental style. It evokes a lot of avant-garde artwork from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Where, if we look at modern games that came out recently, like Scorn, you know that work is inspired by the legendary H.R. Geiger, who is known for the Alien series. So here, for me, this game, the art direction, invokes a lot more of the adventures into the unknown universe, where it's vast, it's vibrant, while the level designs highlights the niche. Excuse me. You know what? We'll roll with it. Where here, the level designs are highlighted more through nature's beauty, where it's just as destructive as it can be beautiful. But that was the key moment in the trailer where they started showing off the gameplay that I knew I wanted to get in on this, which was the dynamic weather. So for me, that's the big immersion factor into the game that I'm looking forward to. To kind of round this back to Destiny, another Bungie game that I've been playing for like the past 10 years, I've seen them do a lot of weather effects and testing in that game. And to say that they've learned from what a lot of they've built on is a huge satisfaction point for me in the game. Because back when Destiny Beyond Light came out, that's when they started introducing the weather effects, where 1 second the world of Europa, it's the snow planet basically. 1 second it's fine, all of a sudden a blizzard can hit you. That's the big thing that they promoted a little bit in the live stream that I'm really interested to see. And so with them using that, it shows to me how much Bungie has been learning from a lot of the other projects. And I'm going to go off on a tangent here. This is not on script or whatever. Like here, you can even hear me. Right, I'm going to scroll past where I lost my place on the thing. The thing about game development is it's projects on projects where if you're still in the same company, you're going to be using a lot of the same techniques and a lot of the same engines. There's a lot of work here that's put in passionate devs who have been working on this since its inception. This goes out to the writing team, the graphics team, the coding team, all of those parts. And just, again, with video game development, it's a snowballing experience that I'm really proud to see that they've been able to learn from their past and implement it into the next big thing that they wanted to make. So, for me, again, this is a solid use of the engine to its potential. Not only for the gameplay and the mechanics that you're going to be doing as an FPS player, and using all the characters' abilities, you're using them to the abilities against everything that's against you, right? And so for me as a player, if you've seen me play Helldivers, I'm always pinging like, hey, there's something over here. Hey, look out in the distance, there's something over there. And so here, this is where I'm going to be like, all right, team, this is the spot. This is where we're going to get some good loot. And as soon as they showed off like one of the characters that plays exactly like that, where I can ping enemies, I knew I was going to pick that character. Like, I'm going to pick that character. So on the topic of playable characters, like I said, I'm going to be playing as Blackbird, who is supposed to be like the scout type player. In Apex terms, this is basically Bloodhound's character, where you get to have a wide range ping and see who else is in the immediate vicinity, and then like all of a sudden you're just gonna see a bunch of like pings come up on the map and just be like, all right, there's a target behind that rock, go get him. You know, I like to be that kind of person. Or if you've seen me play a lot of stealth games, you know, like I'm the sniper, I'm waiting, I'm sitting in the back, just lining up those headshots, right? And so that's where I'm gonna want to play as Void. And especially like with the storm mechanic, again, that's gonna be one of the big things that's gonna really sell this game for me, at least, is just being able to deal with things like that while also working on the teamwork while hunting down all the loot. So those are going to be some of the big points as to why I'm going to play. So like I was saying about how a video game develops and relies on like what a lot of previous releases and projects have been iterated on, in this case, this is where the gameplay will meet the environment. And for those of you who've been out of loop with Halo and Destiny, this is where those two core game principles that Bungie has been working with for the past almost 3 decades now, no, just about 3 decades now, this is going to be one of the big ones that really cements it all together. Because if there's one thing Bungie knows how to do, it's an immersive firefight. So one of the key things about this that really sets apart battle royales and extraction shooters versus just a regular PvP team deathmatch game like Quake versus Apex is that the arenas are huge, right? And then within those arenas, you have a lot of smaller key points of interest that you're going to be at. And each point of interest is its own arena, effectively. So if you're used to having like just those small corridors that you would just like run around and run laps in, that's not going to be the case here. That if you're out there and you get caught in a gunfight, you can easily just leave said gunfight and just go somewhere else. But yeah, each spot will have its own versions of a hotspot where it's like, yep, this is definitely one of the kill zones kind of thing. But now coming back to later runs, when you come back to that location, you can have a better understanding of where the ins and outs are and the angles. The only thing that's really going to be different is what loot you'll find there, because that's the only thing that makes each run different. This is why I say it's going to be why an extraction shooter is a little bit more like a PvP roguelike, in that yes, you'll be running against other enemies, you'll be against other AI while you're looting, and that the loot will never spawn in the same spot twice. That's one of the key things that will set this apart by far. And so for me with this game, with both the PvE and the PvP aspects of it, I'm really excited to see what kind of trouble me and my team can get into. Because if you think of like any Bungie like iconic fight sequences, there's been a lot. If you played Halo 1, storming the beach is one of them. The Covenant hangar bay in Truth and Reconciliation are the two big ones that really pop up for me, which has come back in Destiny. Like they used that same arena design and brought it to Destiny, which was awesome when I actually saw that happen. I was like, oh, cool. So I'm wondering if Marathon's going to do the same thing. And of course, you know, we've had Battle Creek and Blood Gulch. And with Blood Gulch, it's spawned a whole new generation of machinima creators. So, yeah. And in Destiny, we've had a lot of vibrant worlds to explore. The Dreaming City, or the Cistern on Nessus. We've got a lot of really, really good world designers out there in Bungie that this is going to be one of their places to shine. Going from the marshlands to the deserts or whatever that's in there, that looks both familiar and alien in every way possible. And I can't wait to see where I escape to after each fight. And so because of this is what makes the game a little bit more of a hero shooter versus being a full-on blank slated custom trooper that you make. Where in Tarkov, you get to design everything. In PUBG, you get to design everything for your character. Here, you're going to have a choice of 6 available heroes. 4 are going to be available in the alpha and probably the beta, and then 2 more will be available on release, which has irked a lot of players. I understand why they're doing this. It makes sense for some gameplay balancing. It makes sense with the abilities. I'm not going to harp on it too much further, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, like, I didn't want it to be a hero shooter at first, but seeing how they define the classes between each character, it makes sense. And whatever kit you want is the kit that you get to run with. You found a sweet gun you found in the last run, that's what you get to run with. It's your choice. Which leads me to a lot of, yes, when it comes to video game protagonists, in the end of it, the way Bungie handles it is that you are the player, you are this character going through this. Who is this character to you? And yes, they could have taken the Titanfall approach where you played as the archetype of a character, but as we saw in the short film, you get to design how you want to have these characters be representative of you. When it comes down to it, you are that character. You weathered the storm. You helped your team getting out the powers. You get to find the secrets. You get to have those winning moments that can make or break your team. You are the one escaping, and you're just as much part of this universe. And the ARG Bungie has been set up alongside the community feedback, which has been immense, by the way. If you haven't joined the Discord, it is popping. Bungie is listening. They hear what you gotta say. So say it. And so with a new game like this, the company is a little bit smaller because of the recent video game layoffs. But this time, they're not tied to any other agenda. They're not tied to Activision. They're not tied to... They may be tied to Sony, but that's only for Destiny stuff, so they can do, you know, movies and stuff with them. But otherwise, Bungie is full-on free reign on their own, handling this project. No external input except from their team, and us, the players. And so, I'm looking forward to it. It's just, when it comes down to it, do you want to be the first person on the field to find all the secrets, or you just want to watch a lore video when it comes out? Come hell or high water, September 23rd, I am going to be jumping in on this game, and I'm gonna sink my teeth into it. I know I want to go treasure hunting with my friends and find out the secrets of Tau Ceti 4. Bungie has finally reached a point where they have enough understanding of their engine to tell some amazing stories as a living, breathing entity. And that is a risk they are taking, making this a live service game. And they're going up against other giants who have made other games in a similar vein that have betrayed their roots. Even Sergeant Johnson once said,
"You told me you were gonna wear something nice. Folks need heroes, Chief, to give them hope. So smile, would you? Well, we still got something to smile about."
I can't wait to be an experienced runner, see how fast I can get in there, loot everything, and leave without a trace. Or, you know, be in the eye of the storm while my team and I are unlocking something, and then all of a sudden, you know, something goes wrong. And then my team's got to get out of there. And that's the fun part about this being set as a full-on multiplayer game. It's more than just knocking off check marks on an objective list. We're all hunting down for something. And when it comes to it, think about the title. Do you think you can make it to the end and see what happens in the story? Can you handle that long haul? I mean, it is a marathon, nonetheless. So yeah, bad puns aside, genuinely, I am excited for this new game. I do want to play it. And call me a Bungie fan or whatever, but if they can keep my attention span busy for a couple thousand hours alongside a couple thousand other people, then they've done something right. If you guys want to see how this game pans out, I'm going to be there. If you're feeling up for a run, then feel free to come join me or watch our replays when the game does drop. And for everyone that thinks I'm a little blindsided of just jumping into a new game, at some point during the summer, I will be playing through the original Marathon trilogy. So please do feel free to subscribe if you can. hit that bell icon so that way, you know, when I do post those, or when I do go live to stream these games, that, you know, you guys join me on the adventure. I can't wait. But yeah, I'm excited to go back in and dive and see what made these games special for my friends. Because, yeah. This is a game that's near and dear to many hearts, that I know would love to see a proper Justice, you know, sequel, remake, what have you. But if you do want to see any of that and how it all goes down, you know where to find us. Until then, this is Shadow Wolf Gaming, signing out. Peace.